May the words of my mouth and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to you, O Lord, our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. Today we heard the parable of the wheat and the weeds, the second of 8 parables about the kingdom of heaven. Let's review the parable. The master of a field sowed good seed. While everyone was asleep, an enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat. When the plants came up, so did the weeds. The master's workers saw this and went to the master horrified. They first asked the master what happened, and the master replied, "An enemy did this." Then they asked if they should pull up the weeds. How surprised they were when the master said no, for in gathering the weeds, you would uproot the wheat along with them. Let both of them grow together until the harvest. And at the harvest time, I will tell the reapers, collect the weeds first and bind them in bundles to be burned, but gather the wheat into my barn. Now let me ask you, who among you has a garden or lawn that you are responsible for? Probably almost everybody, okay? And how many of you regularly pull up weeds as soon as you see them? Seeing as most of us pull up the weeds as soon as we see them, we better join the disciples for Jesus' explanation. Jesus then left the crowds and went into the house. The disciples went with him and asked him to explain the parable. Jesus then explains, "This is a story about the end of time. The one who sows good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. The good seeds are the children of the kingdom. The weeds, the children of the evil one. The enemy who sowed the weeds is the devil. The harvest is the end of time. The reapers are angels." The image of the field with wheat and weeds aptly describes the world we live in. Good and bad, constructive and destructive are inseparably bound together. And here we are, the children of God through baptism, living in this world. Paul, in today's reading from Romans, refers to the choices we have to make. For if you live according to the flesh, the fallen state of man, you will die. But if by the Spirit you put to death the deeds of the body, you will live. For all who are led by the Spirit of God are children of God. So, what is being led by the Spirit? We all know that it is following the great commandment. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind and with all your strength. And you are to love your neighbor as yourself. How are we to do this? As found in Micah chapter 6, verse 8, what does the Lord require of you but to do justice and to love kindness and to walk humbly with your God. In love and with love, we are called to reckon seriously with the forces, often systematic, that harm and destroy. To name a few: oppressive evil, discrimination and isms of all kinds, economic inequality, food insecurity, homelessness, false teachings, climate crisis, war, anything that separates and keeps us from the truth. Tackling justice requires a serious component of hope as well as patience, awaiting change, fairness, or right to conquer and prevail. If we do nothing, we are complicit with the harm and destruction done by injustice. None of us can take on all the injustice in the world, but each of us can discern one injustice that captures our interest and heart and get involved. You might start by taking sacred ground, or volunteering at the shelter, or joining Granite State Organizing Project and work on housing or immigration. The opportunities are endless. And on the last day, the righteous will shine like the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Let anyone with ears listen. Amen.